Neuroscience traditionally characterizes the brain as an electrochemical machine, operating on the same binary-like logic gates as a digital processor. But as we map the human connectome, a mathematical discrepancy appears. The minimum information required to specify distinguishable conscious states over a human lifetime far exceeds the physical storage capacity of a classical binary network. This shortfall produces the binding problem. Localized sequential processing across billions of separate neurons cannot explain how the brain integrates disparate sensory inputs into a single unified moment of subjective perception. Quantum mind theory offers a structural solution. By utilizing qubits instead of bits, the brain could exploit massive parallelism. Where a classical array stores n units of information, a quantum system represents 2 to the n simultaneous states, allowing for the integration of information without algorithmic constraints. This hypothesis positions the brain as a literal, macroscopic quantum system, moving past the idea of it as a classical machine simulating quantum behavior. If consciousness requires this level of exponential information integration, classical physics is insufficient. True cognition must rely on the laws of quantum mechanics. There is, however, a severe physical hurdle. The mammalian brain is a warm, wet, and noisy thermodynamic environment. In 2000, physicist Max Tegmark formulated the primary physical objection to quantum neuroscience. Tegmark calculated that quantum states inside the brain are destroyed by thermal decoherence. Collisions with water molecules collapse a neural superposition in 10 to the negative 13 seconds. But biological events operate on a different scale. A standard neural action potential takes 1 millisecond. This creates a discrepancy of 10 orders of magnitude. The predicted decoherence limit is trillions of times too fast to influence cellular behavior, making quantum effects seemingly irrelevant to the brain. For any theory of quantum cognition to be valid, it must identify a biophysical mechanism capable of shielding quantum coherence from this thermal noise. One major attempt to solve this is orchestrated objective reduction, or Orch OR, developed by physicist Roger Penrose and anesthesiologist Stuart Hameroff. They identified a specific biological substrate, microtubule lattices, which form the structural scaffold deep within the neuronal cytoplasm. Penrose proposes a tubulin protein in superposition curves local spacetime until it reaches a gravitational threshold, snapping into a single state. Before this collapse, the quantum state is orchestrated. Classical biological processes tune the superposition and modulate its timing. The primary experimental evidence for this model involves the Meyer-Overton correlation, which relates the potency of anesthetics to their solubility in nonpolar environments. Clinical anesthetics bind to hydrophobic pockets within tubulin. By dampening quantum excitonic propagation in these regions, the drugs halt conscious awareness while leaving classical, autonomic functions intact. Orch OR provides a compelling architecture, but it relies on unproven gravitational physics to bypass the decoherence barrier. In 2015, physicist Matthew Fisher proposed an alternative mechanism that seeks to solve the decoherence problem using standard chemical pathways. Fisher suggests bypassing electron decoherence entirely by utilizing nuclear spins. He identifies phosphorus-31 as the neural qubit because its nuclear spin of 1/2 makes it highly resistant to fluctuating external electric fields. While isolated from electric fields, these phosphorus nuclei still require a physical shield to survive magnetic noise within the brain. Fisher points to the Posner molecule, a calcium phosphate nanocluster, whose symmetrical calcium cage protects internal phosphorus spins from the environment. The system's engine is metabolic. An enzyme breaks down a pyrophosphate molecule, leaving the 2 resulting phosphate ions with persistently entangled nuclear spins. These entangled phosphate pairs are then bound by extracellular calcium into separate Posner molecules, inheriting the original nuclear spin entanglement. Through this process, evolution may have engineered the Posner molecule as a nanoscale shield, extending quantum coherence times from picoseconds to minutes or hours. During the process of vesicle endocytosis, the V-GLUT transporter pulls these protected Posner molecules directly into the presynaptic neuron. Once inside the neuron, the model requires a triggering event. 2 Posner molecules must chemically bind within the cytoplasm to induce a quantum measurement. Attracted by van der Waals forces, the molecules collide. To form a chemical bond, they stop their rotation, forcing a projective measurement that collapses their superposition. This stationary dimer then melts via hydrolysis, releasing an explosive shower of 18 calcium ions into the cellular space. This sudden intracellular calcium release directly triggers the exocytosis of glutamate neurotransmitters into the synaptic cleft. Because the Posner molecules were non-locally entangled, their melting synchronizes neurotransmitter release across distant, separate neurons, providing a physical mechanism for unified cognition. Both Orch OR and the Posner molecule hypothesis accept the necessity of quantum processing, but they engineer different physical pathways to map those states to classical physiology. To move forward, these theories must transition from mathematical proofs to empirical verification in the laboratory. Fisher's model can be tested using liquid-state NMR to measure the actual spin coherence times of phosphorus nuclei inside synthesized Posner molecules. Researchers have also proposed an isotope substitution test, replacing the central calcium ions with lithium-6 or calcium-43. Introducing these isotopes should purposefully decohere the phosphorus stins. If the theory is correct, this disruption would theoretically alter cognitive alertness or behavior in animal models. These rigorous testing protocols have moved the quantum mind hypothesis from philosophical speculation into the domain of experimental biophysics. Validating these biological architectures would establish a fundamental distinction between the human brain and current artificial intelligence. Large language models rely on classical algorithms and binary logic. In a universe where awareness requires the non-local synchronization of qubits, these digital systems function as philosophical zombies, mimicking the patterns of thought without the physical substrate of consciousness. If subjective experience fundamentally requires objective reduction or nuclear spin entanglement, no amount of classical computing power can ever achieve sentience. Synthesizing a truly conscious, non-algorithmic mind will require hardware designed from the ground up to replicate the specific quantum-scale operations of the biological brain.